Calling the Newcastle City Council regular meeting to order for Monday, May 6, 2024. We do have an invitation by Nick Bone of Foursquare Church today.
Lord, we just come before you tonight. We first of all just thank you for the moisture. We needed it desperately in our area, Lord, so thank you for looking out for us. Now, Lord, I just want to thank you for each of these servants who are here serving in this position in the City Council, in the police department, so forth and so on. Lord, being as you are the God of all wisdom and all knowledge, I just pray that each of these would have that sense of direction as they go through the agenda tonight and every meeting forward. And Lord, they would humbly come before you and seek your wisdom and knowledge in how the government of this city should be run. And Lord, we know times are tough financially and economically, and Lord, they have some hard decisions they have to make in relationship to finances. So Lord, as they make those decisions, that it would be for the best of the constituents that they serve here in Newcastle. So again, Lord, we thank you tonight as they discuss the different things that, Lord, your presence would be in this place, and that we would see once again this community flourish and prosper, and we ask your blessing upon it in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome. Can I get approval of the agenda? Mayor, I approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion. We have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Do we have approval of the minutes from the regular meeting of Monday, April 15th, 2024?
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and second for approving the minutes from Monday, April 15th, 2024. Any further discussion?
There's some typos. Stacy, the S is missing off of my name in a couple of spots.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Citizens business verbal is, I don't see Kyle with Vital Health, so we'll move on to number 2, Black Hills Energy. Linda Kendall. We appreciate you driving over with this weather being goofy.
No problem. It's a drive back. I'm not worried about.
Thanks.
Thank you.
What we're handing out here is just copies of the current draft of the ordinance, and then a handout that just kind of walks through some of the talking points that I'll visit with you on. Again, Lynn Kendall, Community Affairs for Black Hills Energy. Ken Myros is our operations manager. So if you guys have any technical questions or I fumble, he's my backup. I apologize that we weren't here last meeting. I had heard you had some questions, so hopefully we can answer those today. I thought I would just kind of walk through the franchise a little bit, some of the key points, and then we can open it up. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Does that sound okay?
That's great.
All right. So really the goal of the franchise is to continue to serve the citizens of Newcastle safe, reliable energy that we have for decades. So the franchise agreement just walks through what that looks like as far as what Black Hills Energy is expected to do and how the city can hold us accountable. It gives us the right to maintain or erect and maintain energy infrastructure, working hand in hand with the city, like Ken and his crews do. We have a long relationship of really good communication. And then how we do business. You know, if we disturb streets, that we're expected to fix everything that was disturbed and get it back into operational order. A couple of the key things that I really want to point out in this franchise, and I've kind of outlined them in the key points. I want to talk a little bit about the franchise fee, the length of the franchise. I think you guys had some questions on that. And then some of the language that we just cleaned up, because the old one was, 20 years old. So we just kind of wanted to modernize and streamline some of that language. So within the agreement, it stipulates a franchise fee. And that's what we remit to you, 3% of gross revenues. And those are collected from within city limits. We remit that 4 times a year on a quarterly basis to the city of Newcastle. And then the franchise allows us to collect 2% from the customers as a franchise fee. So we collect 2 and then we remit 3. So there's a percentage of that is wrapped up that we cover. As we were going through and preparing for this negotiation, we did discover that we have only been collecting 1% from customers and remitting 3. So we're going in this franchise moving forward to collect the 2% and continue to remit the 3. The length, we have recommended or proposed in this agreement 25 years. So August, hopefully this one is when the current one expires. So 2024, when we enact this new one, and to 2049. We recommend that for a couple of reasons. It is a long agreement, but it provides stability to the city. So you know that Black Hills Energy is your utility provider, that we have a long relationship providing reliable energy to your citizens and your businesses. We have a long-term ongoing partnership with our operations and your city staff. And as you can imagine, for us, the utility industry is a very capital-intensive business. We have to purchase all of the infrastructure ahead of time, get it financed, and then during rate reviews, work on that repayment. And so long-term agreements like this bring confidence to our investors and allow us the financing that we need to make investments in capital infrastructure. So that's why franchise agreements historically are longer. But what we have included in this one is a 10-year opener. So at the mid-mark, if you guys would like to, we can go through any concerns or issues that you are having with the franchise and have those conversations then, without having to renegotiate the whole franchise. So it kind of gives us some middle ground to work with. And then the cleanup language, when the previous language was enacted, 96 or 98, there was a requirement that the PSC needed to approve the franchise agreement and the fees. They no longer require that. So once it's enacted, we file it with the PSC, and then they have regulatory oversight of all of our rates on a regular basis. So we took that language out because it's just not required. And then there also was a provision in the previous franchise that allowed the city every 2 years to increase that 2% fee that it collected from citizens. It was never enacted, it was never used. So we took that out for a couple of reasons. One, to provide some billing stability to citizens, to residents, and it was never used. So we took that one out.
Maybe we would want to use it.
Yeah.
We, new council, some of us, and we didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah.
The franchise was already in place.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that there's a lot of things that we could have used that revenue for.
Yeah. So that is passed on to citizens. So it's a pass-through. So however, if you would increase the tax or the fee, it would be passed on to citizens. So, and there's, if we wanted to go down that route, we could pull the franchise fee out of the franchise ordinance and make it a separate ordinance. So then we're not, anytime we change the franchise fee, we're not reopening the whole franchise agreement. So there's some options there.
I like that.
And then, that was one of the concerns that was voiced, was the length of the franchise. Because we're looking at 2049.
Yep.
With all of the advancements that are being made in the state and the talk about nuclear energy,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long ways out. What if something new and great comes along and we're trapped in a franchise until 2049? I mean, I made the comment the last time you guys were here that
Yeah.
you guys already pretty much have an investment in all of the infrastructure that's currently in our town.
Yep.
So, I mean, I thought it was kind of a no-brainer that you guys would get the franchise again.
Well, keep in mind though, so I'll give you an example. So, as she stated, we're heavily capitalized. And so for us to make large investments, we want to make sure that we can, for the most part, you may not know, we have to spend the money before we can get the money. So in other words, we have to make those investments before we can go to the PSC and so on. And so for example, we have some projects coming up, we were going to replace some underground cable that's starting to fault, and we're in the process of starting to change out streetlights into LEDs and things like that. So for us to make those investments, we want to make sure that we can make some of it back. And that's the reason why we understand your point of view. That's why we said the opener in 10 years, so that shortens it up. Or it has the potential so to get short.
Okay, so, and then that's the thing too, is I mean, I've been on the council for 3 years and some change now. This is a new franchise that we're potentially granting to your organization.
Yes.
I used to work on the city shop. I'm not super accustomed to franchise agreements. So I mean, I think that some training, especially if we're gonna agree to such a lengthy agreement, would be in order, just for future reference.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of council people or board members out there that maybe don't fully understand a franchise agreement.
Yeah.
And maybe they, a little bit of training prior would be in order.
So what would that look like in your mind?
Like a classroom setting, this is what a franchise is. This is the fees that we collect and this is why. I mean, like, you're kind of explaining it now and I've seen it in black and white,
Yeah.
but some of the concepts I don't fully grasp, and now I'm sitting here on the brink of having to make a decision that the next quite a few councils,
Yeah.
25, 8 councils.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, those are just some concerns I'm just kind of spilling out right now. But
I appreciate it, and it's a point well made, because, we're having to learn this. This is my first franchise. All right, I'm right there with you
we're all
guys.
learning together.
Yeah, so, there are resources, there's a presentation that I can come and give on a regular basis, where we get into a cadence. I know we've tried to meet annually or every other year, and just make it a point with new council members to educate people on what our partnership looks like and what the legal side of it means.
That'd be great.
Happy to.
Now, I'd like to review this idea of taking the fees
Mm-hmm.
and separating them from the actual franchise. And that way, well, I brought up the question in our last meeting that 25 years, or, that seemed like a long time. And because we've been watching our own bills, just in the last 18 months, some of our prices have doubled.
Yeah.
And I look at this as kind of a revenue for the city. And I was hoping that maybe we could even do something about that 3%. You know, and, well, because we're looking at some hard times.
Mhm.
And we're looking for every way that we can possibly make money, and I'd like to hear how you think that we could make more money on this contract.
Well, we can definitely, look at pulling that fee out, so that the franchise agreement that allows Black Hills Energy to provide, energy to the city remains intact, and then a separate ordinance that relates to the fee. I will tell you, I mean, that it's a pass-on fee, so whatever you enact, your citizens pay.
Mhm. I thought you had 1% that you did.
Yes.
We like you invested in the program. Okay, well, and so that would be something that Dublin would have to work with you on, or?
To some extent, from my understanding, you guys get the fee percentage on the basis of what the Public Service Commission gives you, correct?
In a sense, so what we do is basically through public service approves our rate increases and so on. And so, what that would be, but that's just our gross revenue. So if it costs $100 to serve electricity and we charge 110, I'll say, then out of that extra $10 is what that percentage comes out for you guys. If that makes sense. And other areas do have separate ordinances that are completely controlled by the city councils on what they choose to charge the companies, or excuse me, their constituents, above and beyond what we charge. There is some locations that do that, and that's why I mentioned that.
We do have models that we could offer.
Love to see them,
Okay.
seriously.
Okay.
Like you said, we're in a box here, and we're looking at any possible way that we could improve the city's income, and because we're sure getting increases in the outgo, and that's something we can't control.
And we understand. I think everything's that way.
That's happening to you too.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That was something else too, I didn't quite understand, so like, when I heard, possible stream of revenue, I don't really want our constituents having to pay any more. So now I'm biting my tongue, because I was like all about the revenue, and then if it's coming from the citizens, everybody's kind of struggling right now. All the costs, everybody's bills are going up all the way around, so, yeah, now I'm biting my tongue, see, I didn't fully understand that.
Yeah, so 2% is a pass-through cost, and then we bring it 3%. So we cover the cost of the additional 1%.
Okay.
Any other questions?
But when could you have the models to us about that separating?
Yeah,
We'll have to talk to our legal department. It's something that we handle, so we'll request it from them.
Just to clarify real quick, I did have one question concerning, it would be section 4. It's in terms of how, what is defined as gross revenues under that section.
yeah.
At the it'd be the second to last paragraph on there, it says, in addition, the company shall be allowed to reduce the amount of any gross revenues by any amount determined to be uncollectible. Do you guys by chance have a definition of uncollectible in the ordinance, what your legal team might see it as being?
Okay, so as you can well imagine, I'm sure it's the same with your water department. There is a certain percentage that we don't get to collect. And so,
It's bad debt.
Bad debt. And so we don't, you carry the same burden we do. If somebody doesn't pay their bill, if they once they get that $100 bill and they don't pay it, then you guys will not get your 3% because we need to get it. It's basically what we do.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify, thank you.
Well, you can go ahead. You could.
Yeah,
And Santa Claus is still gonna come. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the.
So-
Oh, kids watching this.
Our, what do next steps look like?
I think, did you?
Yeah, no, because I'm more into the numbers type deals. So I want to look at the numbers. When you're saying that 2% and 3% pieces of that, would you have any of that data in past history of showing what that charges are and revenue based on location?
and I'm sure, and of course, we remit that to the city, so.
Yeah.
And I could pull a report and tell you guys what we've gained in different fiscal years.
Yeah. I like it.
So do you want me to move forward with a draft of an ordinance pulling the franchise fee out?
All of our other ordinances don't have separation of fees out of them. For franchise fees, this would be basically the first one if we did.
If we do that, and that's over here, and let's say that everybody gets in trouble, and it's only 2 years down the line, can we open up the fee and maybe increase the rates?
Well, this would be a 10-year opener, so even if you did city, if you did ordinance, of course you could. But with this, no, it's 10 years, so it would be the earliest.
Okay, 10 years.
And also, council, just to be clear, on the actual renewal period, they do have a negotiation phase after 10 years. And if the negotiations, as far as I can tell from what it says in there, you can cancel the franchise by repeal of the ordinance within 60 days following the said 90-day period of negotiations don't go as planned.
Yeah.
So it still is technically 10 years
Yeah.
that way. It's just more of a solidified agreement as to the 25.
Very
So-
good point.
So in a decade, do you guys come back and present to the council and start negotiations again?
Prior, some of the individuals that were been on the council for a while, they know that we currently do come, prior to COVID, we do come once a year, and we will continue to do that.
So were you on Don when they
Yeah, I believe,
did the renegotiation?
the
Much.
first.
Much yourself.
Yeah, he was, I think he was the main one that kind of come in and did some of the presentations back in the day.
Pretty before COVID,
We were always doing that.
Yeah.
down by the schoolyard.
But
You
we,
retired, so you're stuck with me.
Yeah.
but that's not to say that, like I said, we're more than happy to come once a year, it's not an issue. And for that matter, if there's something comes up, we can come more of that. But just on a normal basis, we'll come once a year.
So should we do
When do we gotta do this by? When's the last time?
August is when
Oh.
they needs to be reviewed.
All kinds of time.
Rereadings, but
Yeah.
we'll work our way back from August.
So we can still look it over and discuss it and then.
I think we need her models and we need Stacy's numbers, and then we have a better picture to see. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no problem. So just, I just want to make, that we're not, you want, do a model what it looks like if we had, if the city decides to add, an ordinance
Taking it out.
to, right. And then if Stacy, if you need more information, please let us know. I mean, you have it.
Okay.
We'd be happy to supply it there.
So do we want to shoot for the next meeting or just?
I would say shoot for the next meeting because May's gonna be over before we know it.
Yeah.
And we need to have 3 meetings by the 8th, so
Okay,
of August.
okay. We will be back.
Well, thank you very much for coming and through this weird weather.
Yeah.
No
There's a
problem.
lot of snow. If you go, all you can do is go,
One
east a little
final
bit.
thought, I mean, if you're trying to beat the next meeting, maybe if we could, meet prior to the meeting, if it's okay with the rest of the council, I mean, and then maybe a little bit more, training
Okay.
on
Like,
what
if
it
you mean
means.
the same night as the meeting, but
Yeah,
earlier.
like,
Yeah.
meet
Like
at 5
6
o'clock or
or
something.
5.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we come in a little bit more informed, me personally.
Happy to do that. Okay.
Thank you.
You drive safely.
Thank you. Take care.
See you later.
Still don't see the contact. So moving on to citizens' business and writing, we have number 1, Howard White Electrical, request for electrical license. So we have Howard White Electrical, the following requested a renewal electrical license. All fees have been paid, copies of their license and proof of insurance and bond have been provided for 2024. Contractor's license is Howard White Electrical. Master electrician is Brian Schwan. Apprentice is Nathan Baker.
I move that we approve the electrical license for Howard White Electrical.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. CMS Next Tech request for HVAC limited mechanical plumbing license. CMS Next Tech, the following requested renewal of HVAC limited mechanical plumbing license. Contractor CMS Next Tech, limited mechanical plumbers, HVAC, dated Gretsch. Sorry if I botched that. All fees have been paid, copies of their license and proof of insurance and bond have been provided for 2024.
I move that we approve the HVAC limited mechanical plumbing license for CMS Next Tech.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Like, just a question, what does the limited on there mean? A limited, limited plumbers, I mean, non, what's it mean limited?
He probably has limited,
We can only do certifications, yeah.
Some gas, plumbing, some of the guys that work for Black Hills Energy on the gas side, has a limited plumber's license, they can't do full plumbing for sand.
You know, so, I don't do toilets. Okay, thank you.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And then we have Next Tech Ace Electrical, request for electrical license. The following requested renewal electrical license. Contract is Ace Electrical Services. Master electrician is Alan Ainsworth Clark. All fees have been paid. Copies of their license and proof of insurance and bond have been provided for 2024. A copy of the Wyoming electrical license is attached.
Are those the same people?
No,
What do you mean, no?
I believe they're the same company,
Company,
but
different entities.
this next part isn't limited.
One's electrical and one's plumbing.
I move that we approve the electrical license for Next Tech, Ace Electrical.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
And it would have been interesting to see how many votes may have changed because of Gordon's actions, because of the response of their communities after those bills were passed, specifically the gun-free zone bill. I think that we would have very much seen a change in votes on that one. I think you would have seen more nay votes on that than you had before.
So you're saying that that some folks were counting on the governor veto in that one?
I very much 100% think that especially school districts, courthouses, places like that were banking that the governor was going to go, no way are we letting guns in these areas. And I think that their response afterwards may or may not have swayed some of those representatives and senators to vote a different way because the response was strong.
Next in writing, Weston County School District request for summer sewer averaging. We have dear council members, Weston County School District number 1 is requesting the city council consider summer sewer averaging for our facilities. We certainly understand that we must pay for the water we use. As you know, when water usage goes up, the sewage cost also increases. In the 3 months during the summer, we have very little sewage use. We know that summer sewer averaging is allowed by the city, and we would like to request it for our facilities. We appreciate your consideration. Sincerely, Robert Floyd, Superintendent of Weston County School District number 1.
Your Honor, I move that we accept this request and do some averaging for the sewer, for this ensuing summer season.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yes. Greg, I was under the impression that a lot of the irrigation water and stuff is provided to the school district. So do they actually pay a bill for sewer when we're irrigating? They do?
Yeah, the only waters that we pay for are for the football field and the pool.
So that doesn't come into account on there? No, so,
The grade school or any of their lawns.
okay, understood. Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, in writing number 5, Laura Janice, sewer forgiveness. To whom it may concern, I am writing today in regards to the water service at 3281 North Stage Circle Drive in Newcastle. The water service was in my roommate's name, Jayla Quickbear. We moved in October 2023. We had an issue with our toilet and the landlord came to fix it, and he did. It broke a pipe under the house which couldn't get shut off until the next morning. In the end, our bill is $945 for a month and a half. We don't have that kind of extra money. Sheila no longer lives with us. I know that forgiveness has been given to some in the past few months. I am curious if our water bill can be forgiven due to this issue not being anything we could control, and if it can be forgiven, then I would like to transfer it to my name. Thank you for your time and consideration, Laura Janice.
Stacy had a lot to say about this.
Well,
This seems like it's kind of a complicated account.
it is, I don't know. Thank you.
So just for clarification, J. Lyle, right?
Jake, is that how you say it?
So was it a male occupant?
Correct.
And he's not there, and was the bill sent to him?
Yes.
Okay. And as far as we know, he is the lessor of the property, the lessee.
He was, and we're not sure if he's there or not.
Okay.
I did question, number 5, on that email, that individual, is going to reside there.
Okay, and then, the part about the toilet getting repaired and then a broken pipe under the house.
That's all.
And so they're saying that it only ran until the next morning, and then their bill ended up being $945.
Council, we never were able to investigate that. We were never requested to investigate it at the time. I really can't support a sewer forgiveness because.
You didn't look and see?
Yeah, we did not have eyes on it.
They didn't stack up $900 in one night. Stacy said they've been using our water and sewer and did not pay it for months.
There's plenty of other issues with this.
Yeah.
Didn't it say they want their water bill forgiven?
That's my underlying question,
What's that?
is the water
That is
bill.
how they stated it.
Well, it looks like they would like it forgiven and then put into someone else's name, which, if they're all residing in the same house, it's just getting water turned. Is the water off at this time?
Yes, twice now. We actually padlocked it, shut off the curb stop. We always follow up on those after a while. We follow it up. The lock was cut, the curb stop was turned on. The curb stop's outside of the meter.
No.
We're getting ready to go back and check again.
They dropped a key on it, and the
Yes.
curb stopped and turned it back on?
At this point, according to the ordinance, we are allowed to dig it up and shut it off the corporation. And we're at that point. Which they would incur a larger bill if we did not.
Yeah, I mean,
Do we have a motion to?
Yeah, so we can discuss it. I'll move that we
You don't-
not do this.
Okay, thank you.
I move we do not approve of forgiveness in this case.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second for non-forgiveness. Any further discussion?
I have some, Madam Mayor. There are organizations or state help that could help with this bill if they file the paperwork and do it. So I recommend that Stacy send in a letter, send it in that direction.
Yeah, good idea.
I also, I mean, is there a way, Stacy, that we can transfer, the bill to the next tenant that still lives there? And then send the other one to collections, or
But if the one person,
is she the same one that's been on the bill?
there's another person that lives in that residence that
believe-
still hasn't paid.
I don't know if there's any other insight if J. Lyle is still there.
Last I knew, he was over there.
But I personally believe that he may still have access to that address. And another person that we believe lives there does also have delinquent bills with the city that have not been paid.
So even transferring the ownership of the bill isn't gonna improve whether we get revenue from the account or not?
I don't believe so.
Well,
It just opens a new account at a balance of zero.
Right, so they can start paying, but then,
They can start not paying.
I guess if there's a pattern of behavior here,
Yeah.
then it wouldn't be prudent for us to allow for that. But I don't know these people, and I'm just trying to figure out a way if there's occupants in the building that need water, a basic human necessity, right? That if they can start paying for the water, the zero balance, and this last bill can go to collections or something, I think that should be allowed to happen. But if the people that live there don't pay the bills, and we're just gonna end up discussing this again, then I guess I don't see the necessity for it. But I don't, like I said, I don't know these people.
I also question if the leak's been fixed. And even if it is turned back on, it could be a $200 to $400 bill within a month's time very easily.
Okay, so, it's currently off, and I mean, is it,
We suspect it's off still.
okay, do they have the new census meters? Are we like auditing their usage or
The
anything?
meter has been pulled and, like I said, locked and shut off at the curb stop.
So when they cut the lock and turn the water back on,
They had to make some kind of connection
to the, where the meter was, and then they were utilizing the water that way.
without meter, yeah,
So they're bypassing the meter.
set to services.
So is there a way for, I mean, so can we pursue some charges on this?
Correct me if I'm wrong, chief, but I believe due to the fact there's more than one person living in the house, we don't know which one person actually went in there and turned it on.
Okay, well, so I guess, like the mayor said, it's kind of a no-brainer. So
We have.
I guess I don't have any more to
this one
discuss.
for some time now.
Whose name on the contract?
On the account currently, the last account holder was this J. Lyle Quick there.
Well, if he's still over there, would that be where he can
It
be
seems like,
certified letter?
it seems like whoever signs is responsible for what happens to the meter in the building and
Do we know who the landlord is?
Whoever's name is on the water bill should be accountable.
Are there any kids in the house?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know if you go back on the landlord on something like that or not. When they're not accountable for the bill.
I don't think so.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay. Will you check on that? To see if it's still in non-working order?
Yes. We usually have to have some assistance from the police department when we do this one.
We've done this before in the past with different things, you know, the compost pile has been one, the cardboard location's been another. Is there a location that you could set up potential cameras for identifying for future prosecution?
The problem I can see with that, Councilman, is keeping it in the public way, but yet out of reach. There's no light poles in that area, that sort of stuff. We would have to get permission from the landowner to set up something like that. We did have a video a week ago, and you cannot make anything out. They operate in the dark.
Could we, have Stacy write them a letter and tell them just what you just said? That we know that this person owes money and this person, and we don't even know if the leak is fixed, and can you provide evidence that it is? And we'll turn the water back on as soon as you pay the $9.75.
That's what it is.
I would work with the city attorney, something like that.
I would also, like in the email, I think I would be requesting their higher deposit as well.
Absolutely. Maybe a higher deposit of $300 or $400.
900 and
75.
something.
Yeah, your deposit is $900.
Okay, moving on to old business, joint powers dispatch board lease agreement. You want to take that?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. Council, I sent you what is an edited copy, but it's not the copy that I had wanted to send. Everything is exactly the same. The one difference is that on the very top of the new lease agreement, we would have the first day of June as being the effective date on that. Also, just to bring to the council's attention, the Joint Powers Board asked if we could make attorney's fees and expenses mutual, so in the event of litigation, the prevailing party would obviously get their attorney's fees paid. That was the one thing they want to change in the entirety of the lease.
So that's an okay position for us, I mean, it doesn't hurt us, does it?
Would it be like for the county attorney for Upton, Upton attorney for us to, how does that work?
The thing that, the reason why I had it written the way that I did was that it was very, let's say, pro-city, obviously. From what I can tell, the Joint Powers Board just wanted it to be so that it was on equal footing. In terms of how a lawsuit would be initiated and who would represent who, and I mean, obviously I would represent the city of Newcastle, but the other side of that would be a very complicated litigation process, let's say. I don't even know exactly what it would be for, say maybe, you know, we breached us somehow or something, but even then, I don't see how that would be a, I don't see exactly how, they would probably have to get outside representation or something like that.
Okay.
So, Dublin, it's a matter of fairness between all three parties is the reason that they wanted to change that verbiage.
So, under this lease agreement, basically what it entails now, seeing that there is a joint powers board, it's the city of Newcastle and the joint powers board as its own entity. In the event that, say, the city were to breach this lease agreement and we were taken to court, and the joint powers board prevailed on, you know, whatever it is, we weren't keeping the premises, you know, up to date, we weren't providing whatever it is that we need to provide under the lease agreement, right? They would be, the city would have to pay their attorney's fees, and also vice versa. If we were to take them to court for, you know, damages to the premises that they said that they weren't at fault for, which we thought they were, and we prevailed, what would end up happening is they would pay my attorney's fees.
Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So the wrongdoer
Yep.
on either side
Yep.
has to pay the attorney fees of the other.
Yep.
Upon that ruling.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I don't have a problem with that, yeah.
Because, Dublin, are you looking for us to pass a motion that?
Yeah, I would ask the council for a motion to allow the mayor to sign this with the amendment of the effective date being June 1st of 2024 as opposed to April 1st. Just so that the joint powers board actually has time to sign it before this language lapses.
Okay.
And do we need to also provide in that motion amendment to the neutral language that we just?
No, so that is in there and it's in the copy that I,
It's just,
The one that you emailed us?
no, so that was the issue. There's probably 5 or 6 different copies floating around. I have the one that I've amended, but
this
of
is the
course,
good one, this is the good one, just one day.
it's just the wrong date. So,
Page 11.
So I move that we approve the lease agreement with the Joint Powers Board. What's the entire title?
You got that much time in your hands? The City of Newcastle, Town of Upton, and County of Weston Combined Communications Joint Powers Board. Exactly.
sorry for that, guys.
Oh, okay.
The county wouldn't let us.
I move that we approve the lease agreement for the City of Newcastle, Town of Upton, and Weston County, Wyoming Combined Dispatch Joint Powers Board with the effective date of June 1st,
2024.
2024.
Second.
We have a motion and second, any discussion?
I'm glad that we finally got this all hammered out, and it's another step forward towards business as usual with the City of Newcastle, Town of Upton, and Weston County, Wyoming Combined Dispatch Joint Powers Board. Thank you.
Now, are they interested in having an open house and party?
Yeah, you gotta stay downstairs.
What day is your surgery?
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Will you get that? The one you sign it?
Oh,
Or I can.
Okay.
couldn't get the word document.
Yeah. Yeah, they're quite enjoying that.
All right, moving on to UBC precast LGLP coverage.
And that was just, I wanted to let you guys know that I did reach out to LGLP regarding, any coverage, and they will not cover anything because of breach of contract.
So there's nothing to protect municipalities from bad actors?
Not for breach of contract.
Well, that's unfortunate.
So I just wanted to update since I was gonna look into that since the last meeting.
Okay, some kind of coverage for that. This unfortunately happens again. Okay, moving on to new business, Historical Preservation Month proclamation. So we have the proclamation, Historical Preservation Month, whereas local historic preservation is an effective tool for revitalizing neighborhoods, fostering local pride, and maintaining community character while enhancing livability, and whereas historic preservation is relevant for communities across the nation, both urban and rural, and for Americans of all ages and walks of life and all ethnic backgrounds. And whereas it is important to celebrate the role of history in our lives and the contribution made by dedicated individuals in helping to preserve the tangible aspect of the heritage that has shaped us as a people. Now therefore, I, Pam Gualtieri, Mayor of City of Newcastle, Wyoming, do hereby proclaim May 2024 as Historical Preservation Month and call upon the people of Newcastle, Wyoming to join their fellow citizens across the United States in recognizing and participating in this special observance. In witness whereof I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Newcastle, Wyoming to affix this 6th day of May 2024. And this month, they're recognizing the Episcopal Church this year. Episcopal Church is who our historical society is.
Yeah, and that, yes.
I didn't understand any of that last part.
Episcopal.
Yeah.
The little building up there.
Yeah, the Historical Society is recognizing them.
Next Thursday, the 16th.
Isn't that the oldest church building here?
Yes.
Senior Center roll-off container.
Okay, now they put that in there, Miss Stacy did, because I mentioned it as we were closing last time. And the Senior Citizen Center has gone through a whole lot of work, getting a whole lot of junk and pulling out of these rooms and things that where they want the new roof to go in. And I think that this council could support them by providing them one of those big 300-pound things, gallon things. What do you call them? Dumpsters?
Councilman, the 300-gallon containers are garbage container.
What's the, I want a big steel one. What's that
I'm
one?
talking about the red roll-off container.
Yeah, red.
10-yard and 20-yard.
Yeah, that's what, and we could donate that and that to them and pick it up and dump it in the garbage and help them out in their cleanup for their building. And I think that we should step forward and show our appreciation of their efforts.
I think they're done.
No.
No. Okay.
Keep
You would know.
a pile of wet books in
So
What'd you say?
there. Can't put it in the dumpsters, too heavy. A pile of wet books.
Oh, wet books?
For like a length of time.
So you're
like just
asking,
for a
you're
while.
asking
And
for a
they have a
roll-off.
room full of old equipment that was exercise equipment. Did they get rid of that because it was all black mildew and it's gotta go? You can't let people use it.
It's gone. Some of it's gone.
So Tom, would you suggest a 10-yard, which is a smaller roll-off, or a 20-yard?
With our new information
Which is
from
the
Mr.
large
Butts
one.
here, who sits on their board, I think that we can go with the 10-yard.
For just a certain amount of time.
That, I move that we provide this.
One time, you're talking one time use, right?
Yeah.
But I mean like A week, a month, what are you saying?
Well, I have to refer to him because you sit on their board, and could they clean everything up that they need to clean up in 2 weeks and have it done, and then we come and get it?
I think 2 weeks would be plenty of time.
Okay. Your Honor, I move that we provide the senior citizen center with a 10-yard roll-off, to be given to them on the, let's see, when should we give it to them? Mr. Brooks? 10th of May, for 2 weeks.
That'd probably work.
Okay. Give them time to get ready and get,
Are you talking free dump too?
yeah, we come get it, we dig it up, we do it all.
Just clarifying.
Yeah, well, okay, no, we're doing this to support that group, not to cause them more expenses. So that's my motion, now you need a second. You're not gonna do it, are you? Okay.
I second.
Okay.
So we can discuss it.
Okay.
Okay, I have a motion and second. Any further discussion? Do I get one free for my cleaning my building?
Is that what's gonna happen though?
What's that?
So that's
Is
the
that gonna
difference
open
between a
up
private
something?
business
This is a nonprofit
and an
organization.
organization
I
that
know, I'm just saying that's what's gonna.
provides an excellent service for our community.
If I may, Madam Mayor. The reason this probably all started was they filled one of our 300-gallon cans up with books, and it took us 2.5 hours to dig it out of the garbage truck, because when we tipped it up, it weighted. We couldn't get the can back out because of the weight of the books. So we ended up destroying the can in the process.
So I mean, the cost of the can, I mean, when I was running the garbage truck, I lost garbage cans on the hopper before because they were packed so full of stuff that the weight, just the gripper couldn't even hold it. So, I mean, this would
alleviate the issue.
And then,
They are cleaning up big time over there.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
I mean, and then they'll be able to use the spaces that they're cleaning out.
Well, that's gonna take some more grant money and things to get the roof repaired over
Oh,
these
yeah.
things.
Oh, yeah.
So, leaky roof is what got in there and just destroyed it?
Yep.
Okay, so, but we have a good roof going in, right?
Hopefully.
So they're in the process, right?
Right.
Huh?
We're working on it.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
I better abstain.
Can I talk about another thing? About garbage? It's a windfall for the city, maybe.
You want to wait till we get to public works?
Okay, I'll wait.
All right, committee reports.
There was a couple of committee meetings, Madam Mayor. I wasn't in attendance for the Parks Committee meeting, but I volunteered to report. So the Parks Committee met on April 25th at 3 p.m. at the council chamber with Attorney Hughes in attendance. And the Ben Sprockets, Representative Jeremy Vidic was in attendance as well. And the discussion was had about the memorandum of understanding and what should be included in it. And Jeremy Vidic provided a example of the MOU that he'd started on. And he also forwarded that to Public Works Supervisor Stumpf. And then he in turn forwarded it to Attorney Hughes so that Dublin could work on the MOU. And like I said, I was at a work function and I wasn't in attendance, but I heard that it went well and they're on their way to getting an MOU hammered out. But I heard that it went well, and they're on their way to getting an MOU hammered out. And then I didn't agree to give the Water and Sewer Committee report, so if one of the Water and Sewer Committee members wants to report on that, then they can.
Okay. Guess next up.
You're up.
So we did have a water sewer committee on that same day, that a little later. Also with Attorney Hughes and presence there to visit over our ordinance changes, discuss the ordinance changes with the Attorney Hughes. There was some discussion on the ordinance that needed review, Title 15. So, and verify that the ordinance is not in violation of state statute. So with the information there, it's going to be reviewed with the attorney, brought back and with the changes that was in with Title 26, and do the final review. RFQ for the 2025 improvement project. The committee reviewed the RFQ for 3 engineering firms. Engineering Associates, WWC, Ingram Miller had submitted their qualifications for this. During that time, the committee reviewed them and recommended hiring Engineering Associates for the 2025 improvement project. Most of you might not be aware that this Engineering Associates basically have worked with us, with the city of Newcastle for many, many years as Bear Lodge Engineering. It's just basically been taken over by another engineering firm. So it's not like we went into another engineering firm that hadn't been working with us. So the rest of the council kind of knew background story of that. Other than that, I think we're still waiting on the final report for the rate study, right? I've got that rates. Anything I missed?
I just wanted to reiterate that the associates seem to know a lot about these projects already, and they're well informed. Would be the best choice for us to make. Do we need a motion to do that? I move that we accept Engineering Associates as our engineering firm for the 2025 project.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? You're happy with it?
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, for committee reports. Okay. Moving on to department head, city attorney Devin Hurst.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First off, just in regards to the MOU with Vet Sprockets, as well as the ordinance changes, I should have that out to Public Works Supervisor Greg Stumpf, as well as the council. Hopefully by the end of the week, I have court tomorrow and I will be unavailable until Wednesday. I think the MOU, actually, I have most of it done, Greg, but I think I still have to go through the MOU that he gave us, that Jeremy gave us. So one other thing that I have to talk about is our office is going to be asking in the next yearly budget for a monthly pay increase. And I've sent out, I've given Stacy the requisite time prior to this so she knows that it would be in the budget. And that way she would know to at least, if it's accepted tonight, to calculate for that. In front of you is the billing rate that we billed out versus what was actually paid for, I believe it's 33 months. And I didn't put the calculation on there because I wanted the council to look at the actual calculation, or at least ask Stacy what the mean average of it is, so that it didn't seem like I was pulling the wool over anyone's eyes. But it comes out to, I believe, $4,672 is what we're actually billing out as a mean average. So we'd ask the council tonight for a pay increase to $4,500 per month.
just for clarification, Stacy, this was on the, in our budget workshop as the increase that we were looking for, right? So I mean, we've already worked it all out. So what was the number?
4,500 in our mean average, at least from my calculations, which, again, I didn't go into mathematics, I became an attorney. $4,672 and some change, I believe, is what we're averaging as of per month rate. It was discussed, I believe, in the first year, what it would be, and I believe the mean average would have been something astronomical. I'm glad we didn't actually present that with the council tonight, because I assume you guys would have came back and said, seems a little high, so.
Dublin, you want to rephrase that? Because you said raise it by 4,500.
Oh, yes. I would have the council change the monthly rate to 4,500 as opposed to 3,500.
Makes it
Thank
two.
I would move that we change the current amount that we pay Dublin Hughes for our legal services to $4,500 a month.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Thanks for providing our legal services, Dublin, and it looks like you've been, I don't realize how much you're utilized until I see it on paper. And we use your services to the fullest extent.
I appreciate that.
I think that pay increase is warranted. And we did work it out in the budget workshop for this year's budget.
All in favor as of the budget year? Right? Yeah. Okay. All in favor, did you?
No, I was just gonna, no, just go ahead.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
What
What was that one? That would have been, I think that would have been Joe Powers board.
Oh,
Beginning of it.
well, did you send it with you?
Yeah, I gotta look at that, so I did something wrong there. No, you didn't. That's all I have now, Mayor, thank you.
Moving on to City Clerk Treasurer Stacy Haggard.
I was just going to report that our new website is active, and Walter, I told you I'd let you know that as well. As of May 1st, it's newcastlewyoming.com.
What was the start date?
May 1st.
May 1st.
Is Wyoming spelled out?
Everything is spelled out.
Lowercase.
Yeah.
So
Lowercase.
Oh, it's been running for a few days now. Excellent.
Had a real interesting.
And that's all I have.
Any questions for City Clerk? Public Works Supervisor Greg Smith.
Thanks, Madam Mayor.
Yeah.
First item, we interviewed Jonathan Helberg. He has family around here. We would recommend him to be hired for full-time. $18 an hour, 1 year probation effective May 8th.
I move that we hire Jonathan Halbert for the general labor position at $18 per hour with a 1 year probation starting May 8th.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I'm glad you're getting some new blood.
Does he come with any prior experience or specialty?
Primarily mechanics. Small engine mechanic is what he did where he was from.
Where's he from?
He's originally from North Dakota, but he has family in Upton. Married into a family in Upton.
Is he gonna be commuting from Upton?
He understood at the beginning of the interview that he would have to move within a certain distance of Newcastle in order to respond to emergencies and be on call.
How close are you to being fully staffed?
We're still short one.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Just to let the council know, the consumer confidence report has been done, and we're ready to submit the certification that it's on our website. We post it on our website, we send it out on water bills with the website address, so they can review it at their leisure. There were council members that we had discussed dog waste stations along the bypass. They actually arrived today. So the next step is I have to apply for an encroachment permit with YDOT. Once we get that application, then it's a matter of calling them the location and setting them in place.
Thank you for that update. I know some people are gonna be happy about that.
The 7th Avenue project, we did have a stakeholder meeting. I think it went well. We met on site so people could see what was going on. We had about 15 people in attendance. Depending on the weather, depends on their start date at this point. They were supposed to start today. If they would have tried to road the road up to, I think it would have created a bigger mess than we want to start.
We had a lake.
The pickleball court, I noticed today that they still have one section of concrete to pour. And the rate study, we did receive a preliminary report, Stacy and I did. We're actually reviewing it to make sure the information is correct right now. So it's about a 25 page on the water side. So it's going to take a little while to review. We had a complaint from the post office about the mailboxes on Sage Street. They originally were out in the roadways on the city side of the drainage. We had them moved back out of the roadway to clear the roadway. Part of the reason that road narrowed up so much is the mailboxes kept getting pushed out farther down the line. At one point, there was 15 feet between the two mailboxes. Our stance was we needed to get them out of the roadway per our ordinance because they were an obstruction. The postmaster would like to have them moved back out into the roadway. I am not a fan of this in any way. I'm not a fan of them hanging the curbs because I bet you I've taken about 1,000 mailboxes off myself trying to do street work.
I think we should stay with it or two.
Yeah.
So are these mailboxes, these huge, like, communities style,
They're
rural
rural
boxes?
They're actual rural mailboxes, like,
Yeah.
Multiple.
yeah,
And they're in the street?
they were.
They were.
How can they be in the street?
Because that's where the post office, I guess, told them to put it when they first built it.
So they really own the street and set them?
Pretty much, you know, they were on our side of the culvert, and on our side of the drainage. It's part of the reason we never cleaned the drainage and couldn't maintain it. We had too many obstructions to try and work around. And I know I've knocked one off myself over years ago.
I missed the location
Sage Street.
on my street.
That's your street.
Yeah,
So is there just one of those communities?
The whole one side where we put the drainage, we pushed them all back behind the drainage.
But I mean, each person has a mailbox, is that what we're saying?
Yes.
I thought it was a multiple.
I thought,
No, each house has their own mailbox.
so why doesn't,
So we're
why
talking
doesn't the
about
post office just have,
one,
get them one of those?
2, 3, 4, like 5 mailboxes.
Yep.
I know that one of my neighbors was really concerned about this because they spent some money to set their post and they poured concrete and put it where it was supposed to go. And then they were told that they should move it. And I wasn't aware of any law that says that mailbox needs to be in one spot or the
Well-
other than the ordinance that you're signing?
Councilman, we don't have an ordinance against the mailbox itself. This issue has been going on for a long time, but we do have an ordinance stating that you cannot obstruct
The right of way?
the right of way for roadway, alleyway, or sidewalk in the city. It will interfere with the passage of vehicles or person.
So one of the concerns, I guess, since I'm on that street, is it sounded like the mail carrier just wanted it so they could run a straight line down and put the letters in. And now they have to kind of turn out of their way to put it in there.
Yes.
And I mean, I just don't understand what the big deal is for 5 mailboxes.
We have the
to
same
leave them
problem all over town.
where they're at.
There's a lot of them that overhang the curves, and our Bobcats, when we're trying to do maintenance work, has a tank that overhangs. It's behind you, and you can't see it until the mailbox lays on the ground behind you.
I've hit stuff with those tanks and busted the tanks before, so I know what you're talking about.
Garbage trucks have taken out mailbox after mailbox. We've had issues all over town.
The mail person doesn't want to get out of their truck for anything.
I'm assuming.
That's what it boils down to.
They just want to be able to run a straight line and
I think they should stay where they're at.
No, absolutely. Not move them, keep them off the street.
Because it's gonna end up costing us money because we're gonna end up hitting them one way or another.
We used to keep 30 to 40 mailboxes on hand at any one given time.
Just in case.
We'd order 20 to 30 each year, and have 30 to 40 on hand. That's how many mailboxes we did over the years. One very decorative mailbox cost us $480 to replace.
I say we leave them.
I mean, does it require a motion? You could just leave them where they're at, right?
No, that's
A
all I need
consensus.
is a consensus of the council.
Yeah.
Other than that, does anybody have any questions on the reports?
I have a question about the new dump, okay? Is there a set time when they're gonna open up?
If I knew it, I would tell you.
They're shooting for the fall.
Okay, we're shooting for the fall, so,
They are.
yeah, and then we have to close ours down, right?
Correct.
So in between now and the fall, I think that we should run a special on dump, on getting people to dump things. And with the rumor, that it's probably gonna cost them more when they shut ours down. Well, but then we get everybody, get all this, we could have an influx of income. So what do you think of that? Try to give a little, 10% off or something, 20% off.
Councilman, the problem is we only have so much pit left, and we've got a lot of tires to bury. I'm not sure if we had a lot of extra garbage and we would have enough room. We would end up having to dig more pit. If we sell our scraper to the county, then we have to dig the pit ourselves somehow, which probably means hiring a contractor to do it.
Well, that just made it all bad.
I understand where you're coming from. It would be great if
I
we had
come up with
space.
these great ideas for you, Greg, and you just shoot them down.
It would be a good idea if we had the pit space, but unless we extend our pit significantly now, looking at the time frame of the fall, we're gonna be really close. It's we nip and tuck whether we have enough pit dug right now.
It just shows to go that there's some possibility in setting up one of those processing plants to take those tires and make pads out of them.
It would cost us so much money, it wouldn't even be funny. We looked at a system. Just the equipment alone would be $1 million. And it's a 4-person operation. Take into account days off, stuff like that, you're looking at 6 full-time people to run it. We would need to process a lot of tires.
We just need to get a whole bunch of artists and have them do some kind of art design out of the tires on the abandoned landfill.
We cannot do that.
I know.
Or we do. That, the ground at the landfill will be isolated, and the only thing that will happen on top of the surface is monitoring.
Anything else for?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, that I appreciate your efforts on the $10,000 grant for the safety equipment. When were you, awarded the grant, or when is it to be awarded?
It was awarded about 3 weeks ago. We received notice that we're awarded the grant. Equipment's gonna cost us $15,000, $10,000 of it is now paid for through workforce services. As soon as we get the AG has to write a contract, we have to sign a contract with workforce services through the AG's office, and then we can proceed with purchasing the equipment. But we'll have a new tripod, and work winch, backup winch, and hand lift winch for our confined space equipment.
Well, I just really appreciate you, putting in the effort to get the grants, and, just based on your report, I've seen that you've been putting in for grants. I mean, it looks like you're utilizing the training that you went and took.
Working on it.
Keep doing
Yeah, thank you.
that. I know it's probably should have been up more on the committee reports or somewhere else, but, Arbor Day, I know the tree board, planted 21 cherry trees. And it was a pretty big event, and, the city was awarded the 29th, year renewal as a tree city, and the 13th year of growth as a tree city. So I just thought I would throw that in there. I forgot to mention that earlier. So it was a good turnout. It was nice to see Upton there. So kudos to inviting them to come to that. But it was fun.
Yeah.
And why cherry trees?
What's that?
It was supposed to be Cherry Street.
I know, I heard the story.
Sorry.
I was just gonna have it.
Yeah, the Upton ag kids came over and helped plant a bunch of the trees, and then we also, got kind of a special deal. We got a Romeo and Juliet bush cherry from Canada, and apparently they don't send that many of them, across the border, so we were really lucky to get our hands on them. And they're supposed to get about 6 feet wide and 6 feet tall, and just be covered in cherries, and they're super hardy for our climate. So
Birds will love them.
that whole side of the park is gonna be covered in all kinds of cherries, hopefully next year. And yeah, God bless the rain. They're nice and watered in now. So yeah, it was a good day. Thanks,
We did work, Travis did work with the Weston County Conservation District to purchase the trees as well, so.
Yeah, Travis was really busy with the grant writing too, and he worked really hard for us. So,
It was just really neat. It was
I thought
probably the best one I've been to so far. Would you make sure the tree board lets us know when you guys have that tree for dedication for Dr. Franz?
Yep. Yeah, that was another one.
Me too.
Yeah, we'll let you know. We made an announcement at Arbor Day, but there's gonna be a dedication for Dr. Franz. I think he was pivotal in starting the tree board. And
Where will that go it will go on Washington County?
yeah, it's gonna go in there too, and it's gonna be a smoke tree. I didn't know what a smoke tree was before they brought it up, and they're really pretty trees, and they're kind of an oddball, and I guess Dr. Franz liked oddball trees, so it's gonna be pretty neat.
Cool. Sorry, I just figured I'd throw that in there.
Well, you got me all excited now.
So, well, it was really neat to be at that one. I've been to a couple of them, and that one was really neat. So, anything else? Okay. All right. Police Chief Derek Thompson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just have my calls for service since the 15th of April. Newcastle Police Department is 269. Weston County Sheriff's Office is 140. Upton Police Department is 28. Newcastle Volunteer Fire Department is 7. Weston County Fire Protection District is 15. Upton Volunteer Fire Department is 1. Newcastle Ambulance 31. Upton Ambulance 4. The only other thing I'd like to announce is that as of the 1st of May, we are no longer employing dispatchers. So the Joint Powers Board has fully taken over. I agree.
I have one, I guess, under, for the police, for Thompson and that. So reviewing of the Chief Thompson wages, his current wages right now are $34.96 an hour. And looking at his background and how it's did in the structure with him, peace officer with 13 years and a bachelor's degree, that would put him in that category to recommend a raise for $37.24.
Is it your motion?
Yes, I'd make a motion that looking at the current category for the chief and the years of service to increase Thompson's wages from $34.96 to $37.24.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, sure, bring that up, we're sitting right there. Who's gonna vote against it?
We just did wages and you brought like the whole rubric in before the council. And then we increased everybody's wages significantly. So this new wage is just to account for years in service and your bachelor's degree.
That brings
On
him
top
up
of
to
the
the
rubric
rubric.
that you had presented to the council before.
Yeah. His first wage, the wage that we just increased into was putting him into the chief position for the position. And this one, looking at the rubrics that was put into that, he would be eligible to that additional wage increase for his years of service.
Okay.
So we're sticking to the rubric. Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for Chief? Claims against the city dated May 6, 2024.
Mayor, I move that we approve the claims against the city.
Got two. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Your Honor, I move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, adjourned at 8:27.
So double. What happened?